All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another installment of AutoCAD, Autodesk Virtual Academy. Today is July 15th, 2021. And how the time flies, am I right? I feel like it was just 4th of July last week. Uh, um, yeah, today we have some interesting stuff for you guys here today. We're going to be covering 15 AutoCAD tips in 15 minutes. If you guys were here last week, we actually covered some inventor tips in 15 minutes with some additional technical difficulties. So if you guys are here again this week, I do appreciate the attendance, and hopefully this will be a helpful session as well. We got the perfect guy for this presentation. His name is Jeremy Gerdes. So if you want to turn on your camera, Jeremy, and say hello to the crowd, please.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going, Jeremy? Yeah, when this topic came up originally, I was like, dude, this would be perfect for Jeremy. I know at your last position, Jeremy, you used to do a lot of 2D and 3D drafting and modeling yourself, right?
Yep, did it for many years. Did a combination of 2D to 3D and vice versa. Start off with 2D and eventually grew into 3D.
Right on. Yeah. How would you describe your current use of AutoCAD?
Currently, I'd say it's probably about 30% of the time. Just
Right on.
inventors taking more, but it's still there and still used. It has its place. It's still
Right on.
extremely useful for certain parts or applications.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks for the info there, Jeremy. We'll go ahead and get started over here. Again, for anyone that's not familiar with the Zoom webinar style, this is a bit different than the regular Zoom meetings you might be used to already, but this will have an extra Q&A section. If you want to ask us questions, we'll be monitoring. You'll see some poll questions show up later on. And there's also a chat if you want to interact with us, or you can even raise your hand if you want to get some attention or something like that. Okay. So let us know if there's any issues with audio quality, visual quality, or anything like that. And of course, any feedback's very much appreciated. And you'll be receiving a survey at the end of the session for more info later. Okay. Take it away, Jeremy. Let's see what you got.
All right. Well, thank you, Adam, for that great introduction. Again, a little bit of a background about me. I'm an application engineer with KETIV. Over 12 years of design and manufacturing engineering. Been using Inventor and AutoCAD for over 12 years. I came from industrial pressure washer designs and accessories, so I understand the practical use of the software too, not just the theoretical use. So a little bit of the agenda today. We're going to have an intro, some poll questions, then we'll get into the meat of it, the 15 AutoCAD tips, tricks, and then resources, and then questions and answers at the end. These are the poll questions that we have out. And then the 15 AutoCAD tips and tricks. These are the 15 that we're going to go over. Some of you guys may know some of these. Some of these may be completely new, or you use them every day. But over my years of learning, these all have benefits to not only speed up some processes, but just make sure things are correct. So let's dive into it. All right, the first command we're going to talk about is the oops command. The oops is very similar to the undo command, except that it only undoes the last deleted thing. So, you've been there and you're working on a drawing and, you accidentally delete a couple holes or what the case is. And, you start working on the rest of your drawing. Then when you look at it, you go, wait a sec, I'm missing something. Well, you can undo, but you're going to lose your work that you've already done. Or you can type in oops and it'll bring back the last deleted thing. That saved me more than once. And then the next command, overkill, I came from doing a lot of stuff that would be thrown onto a CNC laser to cut. And that particular laser and software had a hard time with lines overlapping and just in general cleaning up your drawings. So we can see I have a flat pattern drawing here. And if I look at it, well, I have a lot of goofy intersecting lines. So I can type overkill, select the object, and then it gets rid of the duplicate lines, overlapping lines, stuff like that. Just cleans up the overall drawing. And then following along with general housekeeping of a drawing, sometimes you'll get layers and blocks and stuff built into the drawing to a point where you don't use a third of the blocks or a third of the layers. So we can see here, I show 17 layers. But if I go to purge, it gets rid of the layers that aren't in use in the drawing and the blocks that aren't in use. So it helps just, mitigate the size of the drawing files and helps general cleaning up the file so you don't have a lot of miscellaneous stuff in there.
Jeremy, could you say on oops again, does it just delete the last part that you did, or does it go back multiple ways? Can you keep doing it?
Are you seeing multiple deletes?
Yeah, that's a question we have in the queue right there. Is oops only the last or the multiples?
I thought it was only the last.
I see. Okay. That answers that question, I hope, for Ray there. Go ahead and keep going, man. All you.
All right. And then another really useful tip for, time management or time reporting is if you type in time, it'll bring up a dialog window that'll show you when the drawing was, created, when it was last updated. Then it also shows total editing time. How long have you been working and editing this particular drawing? And that's really useful if you're having to report in for, projects for time management. All right, now let's go on to my favorite tip. All right, we can see in the drawing here, some of you keen-eyed people may look and go, some stuff looks spelled a little goofy. If you go into spell, you can do a spell check on the entire drawing. Which is very helpful if you're flying through a drawing trying to get stuff done. I've made the mistake before of misspelling some words, and nothing's worse when you're trying to get something approved and your boss, manager, whoever the case reviewing it goes, oh, this is spelled wrong. So it's nice to just double check. And then the next command, it's a combination of repeat and multiple. Say you're going to have to place a whole bunch of circles. Just arbitrary, put a circle. You can hit the space bar and keep commands going. Same thing with lines. You can also do that with the enter button. Or you can also type in multiple, then enter the command, and it automatically starts the command again once you finish the first one.
And now when I do presentations, sometimes I don't call out all my keystrokes, and a lot of people ask me, "How do you keep redoing the line command so quickly like that?" It's the same thing for Inventor as well, to
Yeah.
repeat the last command used.
And then something that I learned recently, which is extremely useful, if you're trying to select all the particular dimensions, or this is a rather simple drawing, so it's not too difficult, but if you're trying to find all the dimensions and you want to change them to a different format or whatever the case may be, if you select your drawing, go to properties. I never noticed, but up here you can actually select the different sets of parts in the drawing. So I can select all the lines or all the dimensions. And that's really helpful if you have really complicated, very dense drawings. Just an easy way to be able to select them all quickly.
Yeah, and it's good to know too. If you guys are new to AutoCAD, especially, object types are a big differentiator, or a big thing to keep in mind when you're working with different objects. So if you're looking for blocks specifically or looking for dimensions, you only want to pick up circles. That pull down is going to be really good for filtering just on the fly like that.
And then some of the features that are new to AutoCAD, which I'm very grateful for, is they have quick measure, which come up here, choose quicken. It'll start automatically just showing you the dimensions of the lines, and it'll show you if it's a right angle, and you're just hovering over moving. And that's really helpful if you're trying to just figure out quick dimensions. You just want to make sure everything's where it should be, more or less.
Yeah, that quick measure tool is like new, and I think either 2021 or 2022 specifically, or they added some more functionality to calculate area and the like.
Yeah, and if you click in, you can get areas and stuff like that. So that's really helpful. And another thing that is relatively new is they did floating windows.
I know this has been implemented in Inventor at least a year or two before this, I think, where you could keep that on. Obviously, we're only showing one screen right now, but if you want to keep a floating window on the second monitor, like a lot of us might have a setup right now for dual or triple monitors, you could still go back and forth without having to. You could still access the toolbars on the main screen while having the window on another one.
Yeah, and it lets you, either start going off the dimensions that you have on one drawing and do another one, and it keeps them both up for reference. Yeah, that's become pretty useful.
Yeah, very small quality of life thing, but makes a world of difference for small things like that.
It helps. Then another one is to quickly override your snaps. So say I want a line in. I hold shift and right click, it'll bring my snaps. So I can choose midpoint. If I don't have, midpoint set as a default snap, or if I'm looking to make sure that I'm actually where I want to be. Sometimes you'll have endpoints and midpoints, and sometimes you may not notice if you're exactly on or just fractions off. So that's helpful.
Yeah, and that's notably a snap override, right? So depending on a lot of people ask me this in the beginner courses, where they have all of their snap defaults on, or they have too many snap defaults on, so they can't really pick the spots that they need. The option's either to just turn off your defaults and set them up so they're less restrictive, right? Or just have a temporary override so you could have like a single click. When you do that midpoint snap, that's the only snap that you're going to get once you do that override for that one click specifically. So it's really helpful for, again, on the fly kind of editing and stuff.
Yes. And then another thing that they've changed over the time is the trim command. The trim command no longer requires you to select a cut line and then select the trim. You're able to just start selecting lines and trimming.
Okay, this is more in line with like the inventor's style of the trim command specifically.
And then when in the trim, you can also hold shift and you can go to extend, which is something that, extremely helpful because you may trim something but still need to extend something else. So instead of having to get out of one command, you're already in it. And it just lets you speed up the little processes.
Yeah, I find like a lot of functionality in AutoCAD is just very specific picks and clicks that are not really that obvious on the surface, right? You still there, Jeremy?
Huh?
Oh, you still there? You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. You cut out a little bit there. I don't know if you were saying something.
Oh, I was saying that if you're having issues with your, computer, with your power, whatever the case may be, or you're having some crashes, something that I've always recommended to people is you can change your auto save time. You can set it to 1 minute between saves, 5 minutes, because nothing's worse than working for half an hour and boom, it goes. You didn't save in that half an hour or an hour, whatever the case may be. And that's just in the options under open and save, under the automatic save. And then say you're at the end of the day, you have multiple drawings open, you've been working on all of them, but hey, you want to get home, it's Friday, want to have dinner, whatever the case may be, you can save all the drawings. And there's an easy way to save them all. If you type save all, it'll save all of your open drawings. Then you can type close all to close all of your open drawings. So that's pretty useful, at the end of the day, or if something, if you need to leave real quick or whatever the case may be, those two commands work really well with each other. And then something that I get asked quite frequently is, as most of you may notice, AutoCAD has changed the general layout, or Autodesk has changed the general layout of AutoCAD over the years. And I know for me, I preferred, the older classic, I guess we could say. It's no longer built in, but you can bring it back relatively easily. You come up here to your quick access toolbar and click show menu bar. Go to tools, go to palettes. You can turn off the ribbon, back to tools, toolbars, AutoCAD. You can start putting the toolbars and stuff back in.
Yeah, the classic workspace one is probably one of the most asked questions we receive in the support lines, where people just want to know how to get back to the classic AutoCAD toolbars. So yeah, it's not like, I think it used to be like a purely selectable option in the past, but more recently you have to go through these steps, but still not so bad. They used to be a bit more complicated even before this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how are you doing on tips? We're about at 14:55 here.
That was the last one.
Beautiful timing, man. Right. Okay. Okay. Cool, man. I think, do you have any other slides really quick? I think,
yeah, I do.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, just really quick. We're going to do the Q&A. There's a few questions still floating around over here, but just really quick, guys, there is some more information available for you guys. Go ahead and go ahead and present the slide, man.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this is the Design Academy, available on online. So I believe you just need like an Autodesk account with an active subscription, I believe. But you could go ahead and paste this link into chat if you would there, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm missing it, or
It's just the
Q&A?
it's the chat panel. There should be a chat option on Zoom.
Yeah, I thought so, right?
Yeah. It's okay. I'll go dig up that link really quick. Hang tight. Yeah, go ahead and go to the next slide, or go to the next link if you will. Yeah.
And then there's our AVAs.
Yeah, and of course, if you guys are here already, we do these weekly, right? These AVAs and stuff, and obviously we're here presenting. But yeah, feel free to join us, and we have a ton of information. If you want to look at the videos, we've been doing this for quite a while now, so there's a lot of information that we've been storing up over here. Yeah, we did a similar video for Inventor last week with Brian on the customer success team as well, and he's been a big help as well. And so again, we're all about just trying to share information. So if there's any topics or ideas that you guys might have, just let us know. We'd love to cover it in the future as well. And then if you want to sign up for our next session as well, Jeremy has the link for that. In addition, if you want to click on that too, man.
Yep.
That's the one. Yeah. And so I know some people were asking about like PDF searching and content aware searches, for example. We cover a variety of other topics on AVA, including Vault, right? And so next week, we're going to have our guy, Jason, who is an Autodesk veteran. If you ever submitted support cases through Autodesk, but he's going to be covering some Vault multi-site options. So if you guys have large, expansive Vault environments with multiple sites, this is going to be a session to kind of jump in on. And he's going to be covering some stuff like, how do I expand my Vault? Do I need multiple servers? What kind of options do I have? Like, what's SQL? Yada, yada, yada. So I expect that one to be particularly technical as well. So feel free to sign up on that page as well. And in fact, I think I got you. I could share this link here. And yeah, so I think both of these, between this and like the Design Academy, there's a lot of good videos just online. And I'm sure you guys might have been online yourself in the past, just finding a lot of stuff online. But feel free to sign up for that and get some more information. And we'll be back next week with Jason. Okay. Then go back to your slides, man, and we'll take some quick Q&A here, I believe. Beautiful. Okay. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to submit a case via email or phone. But let's see what kind of questions we got here. From Patrick, we have, will Overkill also attach disconnected points? Importing completed shapes into Inventor often gives me an incomplete boundary to select for cuts and the like. Can you speak to that, Jeremy? Do you know if it'll connect disconnected points there?
No, it will not connect. I'm guessing you're talking about, say, you have two lines. I'm guessing you're meaning something like that's exaggerated, but no, it will not connect those two.
I see. And I think the opposite's true, right? When you take AutoCAD drawings into Inventor, like it doesn't apply like the coincident constraints automatically, does it?
No.
Right. Yeah. So that's a common workflow. Yeah.
There has been times where I've done some intricate sign work for, to cut out on the lasers, and I've taken it into Inventor and used the Sketch Doctor to see if there was anything that even I might have missed in AutoCAD and vice versa. Yeah, the Overkill will not join them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Yeah, and then this is a question from Ravi. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this, Jeremy, but do you have any info on what is the best setting for converting drawings into PDF and the generated PDF will have searchable text? I don't think there's really anything I could say on the AutoCAD side. Do you happen to know, Jeremy, if there's any info there?
Off the top of my head, no.
Okay. And then Ravi, I know in terms of searching PDFs for like content aware searches, I do know there is some stuff on the Vault side that we could talk about. So they're called like iFilters and stuff for Vault specifically that'll allow you to search content inside of your files, including PDFs in particular. I don't know if there's any specific setting in AutoCAD that would make that better or worse per se. but I would probably look at the Vault side and look at those eye filters for content searching things there. Feel free to shoot us an email though, and the support line could definitely look into that a bit more, because that's definitely a more involved question overall. But yeah, we could definitely talk to you if you just shoot us an email. I got you. And then from Ron here, could we revisit the multiple windows feature? Yeah, we got some questions about this. So yeah, just could you go through the multiple windows again for us, please, Jeremy? Yeah, so there's no command here, right? It's literally, you have the drawing tabs at the top where you normally find them, and you're just dragging them off like you would a tab inside of like Chrome or even Firefox now.
Yeah, and you rescale them, and then when you want to put them back in, you can just grab the top and it'll reference the tab again.
And so like the toolbars at the top, they stay with the main window, correct? And so if you were to move the main window off to the off screen, for example, you could still edit this drawing without that main window on screen, correct? Yeah. So but yeah, that was kind of specific. I apologize, but yeah, you literally just drag the windows off, and the toolbars will stay with the main window, mind you. But once you're in that drawing, it'll still be context sensitive and context aware of the tools in the main window. So you'll still have to get them through there, but you could still use the command line and stuff like you would normally expect. Yeah, and then Inventor also has multi-window support as well, and I think it's been there for a couple of releases now, actually. But same thing with Inventor. The tabs are at the bottom, though. You could click and drag those off to make new windows and put them on another screen if you want. I don't know if this is going to work for 2019. I don't believe 2019 has multi-window support specifically. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I hope that answers your question, Ron, or anyone else wondering about the multi-window support. Literally just means you could drag and drop, or you could drag a drawing off to another screen without affecting the main screen, which, yeah, again, I believe is a pretty often requested feature over the years. So, and then Tim, yeah, this does work for Inventor. At least the multi-window support question is what you were asking, I believe. So let me know if you have any questions about that. And this is from Euphemio. Will this work in AutoCAD 2019, Plant 3D, and PNID? I'm not really sure. I don't think the multi-window support was in 2019 at all, correct, Jeremy?
I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I'd have to double check.
Yeah, with the verticals in general, right? The verticals are all based on the same AutoCAD platform. So a lot of the stuff does translate up into the verticals oftentimes. I can't say for Plant 3D specifically, though. I'm not sure if it'll support multi-window support. But it'd be easy enough to test. You would just have to click and drag that off. I know for a fact that AutoCAD 2019 didn't have multi-window support, though. So I hope that answers your question, Euphemio. Thank you for asking. And this is just a note from Alfonso as well. Autosave will interrupt the current command you have when it kicks in. Yeah. And so it does autosave. And I think I asked you this earlier, Jeremy, when we were prepping, but it will autosave regularly, right? And I think Inventor, by a similar turn, it doesn't have autosave, but it does have save reminders. Is that what we said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you do have a bit of a trade-off. So do you want it to save that regularly and like keep interrupting your commands, or do you want to kind of leave it up? But then Inventor is just a save reminder for maybe a similar reason. Not sure. Easier to print from a sheet set. I think this is just a free tip from chat. I'm not sure. Easier to print from a sheet set. I meant to convert to PDF. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if that was a question there, H. Portillo, but if you guys aren't familiar with like sheet sets and like batch plotting and stuff like that, that's also a really common thing that shows up in AutoCAD. So if you have multiple layouts, for example, in a particular drawing, you want to just print, you could use batch plots to print them in a batch essentially. And you could convert that to PDF pretty easily as well, like a regular plotter, just in scale essentially. Will the multiple windows work with viewports? Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure about that. Will multiple windows work with viewports? Can you answer that, Jeremy? Do you know?
Viewports, I'm not too sure on that one.
Yeah, because you're saying like, I think Euphemia, I think you're asking about like multiple views of the same drawing, essentially. not sure about that. Yeah, I've seen that for stuff like maybe 3ds Max specifically, but I don't think I've seen anything specifically like that for AutoCAD or Inventor for that matter,
Yeah.
outside of view reps and the like. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Then can you reset the time on a drawing? I use a current drawing for a new project, for example. Yes, I guess speaking to that time command, yeah. Can you reset the time on a drawing? Can you just flip it? Oh, reset timer to 0. Okay. And this information travels with the drawing, right? So if I sent this drawing
Yeah.
to someone else, like they'd be able to look at the time I spent on it. Is that right?
Yes.
I see. I see. I mean, that okay. Right on. Is there any way to put this information into the drawing, by the way? Like I know like for the block count command, you could actually insert the block count into the drawing afterwards. Like, can you insert like time, the time fields into the drawing somehow?
I'm not too sure on that one.
I see. I see.
I've never done that, but I'm not 100% positive.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of stuff like that, especially with like attributes and blocks where you could just kind of map properties in or just place, metrics in there like that. But that's interesting. I hope that answers your question, Ron, though, but you can reset time on a drawing if you need to. Yeah. And then I think that's about the last question we had, actually. Now, I do want to extend one option to H. Portillo one more time. Let me know if that answered your question. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at there, but feel free to resubmit if you guys do have a question there. From Euphemio, you do learn something new every day. You're welcome, dude. Can you do me one more favor here, Jeremy? Go back to the list of 15 tips on your PowerPoint one more time. We'll close out on that slide, I think. Yeah, so so these are the tips one more time. And then again, Jeremy, thanks for putting this all together.
You're welcome.
It was a pretty quick session. I hope that, regardless of what your skill level was, it was still pretty interesting. They're all, again, very small, very specific commands. It's not necessarily easy to stumble on some of these, right? But yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. Feel free. If you guys like these videos, let us know. There's obviously a lot of Autodesk products we could do these sorts of videos for, and we like doing them. So let us know. We'll be receiving a survey again at the end of the session over here. So feel free to provide any feedback, give your kudos to Jeremy. He's a great guy. And let us know if you need anything else, okay? Close all other. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw it earlier, but when you typed in close all, Jeremy, there's the pull down for the autocomplete. The close all other command would also just close all the other open drawings except the one you have selected. So again, a lot of great stuff in AutoCAD to learn and discover for sure. And then one more favor, Jeremy, go ahead and go to the Q&A slide one more time just with our contact info. If you guys have any other questions, any other concerns, feel free to submit some information over here. You could email us, you could call us at either of those numbers as well if you guys need any more information. Okay. With that, yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. That's about all we got here. So thanks you, Jeremy. Thank you all for being on today. And we'll see you guys next week for some Vault multi-site options. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Bye, everybody.